What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be installing this Mangoal dash camera on the 2024 Buick Enclave Avenir. The good guys at Mangoal reached out to me. I said sure, why not. We just finished rebuilding this vehicle on the channel. If you didn't see those videos, be sure to check it out. I'm super excited to toss this on because it's a hidden camera. It replaces one of the trim that goes right on the windshield, and it's going to be almost as if it never was there. So I'm super excited to toss this on. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I plan to install it. I'm also going to include video clips of what this camera looks like. And then hopefully you guys can make an informed decision. This is not going to be an in-detail review because I'm only installing it. I can't tell you how long it's going to perform in the long run, but hopefully you can learn a thing or two from this video. So let's get to unboxing this and to the install. This is the camera itself, and this is the trim in the vehicle that actually replaces. So it's going to be, like I said, it's almost going to seem as if it was never there. So I really like this. And you have all the hardware and the rear view camera. So this is everything that's included in the kit. Couple zip ties, you have the manual, 128 gig SD card, you have a trim tool, you have the adapter or the harness to get power to the front camera. You have an BUILDZ connector if you want to go it that way. This actually bypasses the stock wiring. You have the trim cover for this trim piece, the actual trim piece that houses the camera and the rear camera. So the first thing I'm going to start by doing is popping out this trim piece. There we have it. And then we want to remove the actual piece that houses the camera. And that's out. Very simple. At this point, we're now ready to install the new assembly. I'm going to pop off this protective cap, and you can see the camera lens. But before we can install this, we need to install the wiring harness that's going to give the camera power, and of course the SD card. And this is the harness. If you wanted to have this run 24/7, you can use the other harness that connects to the OBD2 connector. I really do not need that, so I'm going to be utilizing this harness for this install. So pop off the assembly. So now I remove the stock connector, which is going to go in here. And this one goes back into the location where the stock connector was, like so. And we're just going to try and tidy this up over here. And then this is what feeds the actual mirror assembly and gives it power. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that. And now we want to secure everything in here. I'm going to throw some zip ties so there's nothing rattling over here. And then install the actual dash cam assembly. And now that I've secured all the wiring as required, I'm going to go ahead and install this piece that actually houses the dash camera. Now that I have that assembly fully secured over to the windshield, it's time to install this last plate that goes right in there. You just need to line it up and make sure the tabs click right in there. And that's what the finished look looks like. I have the rear camera wiring harness sticking out over here. So whenever I route the wiring harness for the rear camera, it's going to go right up in the headliner. Now let's move on to the rear install. Now I'm at the back of the vehicle. We're going to be installing the rear dash camera up over here. It's a bit more work than installing the front one. So I'm going to get right to it and show you guys the finished product. So I'm going to start in the front. I'm going to connect the harness that goes to the rear camera. I have it sticking out over here. I'm going to run it all across up here to the A-pillar all the way to the back. So that's the rear camera harness connected. So simply just tuck it up in there. I've opened the A-pillar trim, and as you can see, the wire is now sticking out over here. It's to go all the way across the back to the trunk over there. Okay, so if you've done everything right, you should have the harness now all the way at the back of the trunk that will run all the way to the front. Now comes the fun part, which is installing this camera right on the trim over here. Okay, trim is out. So I have this piece of old metal hanger. I have bent it, fed it right through the top over there from the lift gate to the bottom of the roof or to the top of the roof. And as you can see, they're sticking out over there. I'm going to go ahead and hook the wiring harness for the camera and pull it all the way out. The wire around all the way up top over here. This was the better route because there's only one in here and there's way more wires over here. Now there are two. So I'm gonna go ahead and secure all the wiring. We want to make it as tidy as possible so there's no rattling in the cabin. And then we're gonna drill a hole on this trim to install that camera. This trim is perfectly centered on the vehicle. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure it. I'm gonna find the exact center point. So we have 34¼ I'm gonna find the center, then drill. With the hole drilled, insert the camera harness, pull it out. And we're gonna reinstall this trim piece and figure out the best spot to mount the camera. And to clean up the excess wiring, I've gone ahead and secured everything over here. I have zip ties like this with a pushing clip over here, and they're both tied it up here and here. So fully firm, nothing's gonna rattle in the vehicle, and that's the goal. First, I'm gonna connect the camera like so. And then we still have some excess wiring that it's gonna be zip tied over here, about here. Then all of these clips can be pushed in. So quick mock-up. In inside, I should have drilled a hole somewhere up over here. So there's less visible wiring when all of this is installed. But I didn't have my morning coffee, so we're gonna chalk it up to that. But if you guys are looking to get this done, I would suggest bringing up your hole all the way up over here. And you have way less wire being visible. And that's gonna be the way to get this done. But no concerns, I can throw a couple zip ties over here. It's still gonna be very clean, and that's all that matters. So now I'm gonna pop this back off, clean up all the wiring underneath, and then finalize the install. And there we have everything all secured up. Zip tie, zip tie, zip tie, zip tie, and all of this. So obviously you wanna clean your windshield. I removed the adhesive backing tape over there, and I'm just gonna go ahead and place it right. Now we're looking good. Well guys, there you go. Front camera's installed, and on the rear view camera, you can see the rear camera over there. Very nice and discreet. You can't really tell except you know it's there. And I'm going to include footage obviously from both front and rear cameras so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. I'm going to also show you guys how to set up the app briefly on your phone and connect your device to it, which is also pretty straightforward. And I'm so impressed with the camera quality, and I also really like that it doesn't affect your view in any way. It's nice and discreet. There's nothing sticking out. There's no wires. I mean, some people can install it differently, but I like to have a very clean install, as you can see. Well guys, there you go. Front camera is installed, and on the rear view camera you can see the rear camera over there. Very nice and discreet. You can't really tell except you know it's there. And I'm going to include footage obviously from both front and rear cameras so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. I'm going to also show you guys how to set up the app briefly on your phone and connect your device to it, which is also pretty straightforward. And I'm so impressed with the camera quality, and I also really like that it doesn't affect your view in any way. It's nice and discreet. There's nothing sticking out. There's no wires. I mean, some people can install it differently, but I like to have a very clean install, as you can see. So you simply scan the QR code on the box the camera came in, you get the app on your phone, you connect it, you can access all the footage that's on the camera right on your phone and the album over here. You can also do some edits if you really wanted to. You can also download the footage from your camera to your device, save it, export it, whatever the case may be. You can switch between front and back camera. You also have GPS location of your camera too. So really handy stuff, guys. So as you can see for yourself, the camera footage, the quality is really good. And for the price you pay, a camera this discreet with this amount of quality, I think it's a no-brainer. But that's just my opinion. Again, like I said, I do not know how well this is going to perform in the long run. I might be making an update video in the next few months to let you guys know what my thoughts are on this. If you guys have found this video helpful, be sure to drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe. If you guys are looking to purchase one of these cameras, I'm going to have a link in the description with a discount code, so be sure to take advantage of that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.